Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Two Creations.
Woo!
I'm Cindy Yep.
And I'm Nancy Lee. And this is Two Creations. Two Creations is basically Joy Luck Club meeting drunk history. And today's topic, we will be talking about Chinese old wives' tales and superstitions.
Which, as you can imagine, is a rich tapestry of bullshit.
So much so that really it's not superstitions, it's how they make you get things done.
Who are they?
Hello, tiger moms. Now, I think there's tiger everything, but specifically Chinese moms, they just have an agenda and they push it no matter what.
No matter what.
And so they just make stuff up. When you're little, you think your parents tell the truth. And then you realize they just manipulate you.
It seems like everything that they tried to get you to not do was they tried to scare the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where
Yeah. No,
we're talking about love is fear-based, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's because they love you that they do this.
They love you, so they want to scare the shit out of you.
And also they wish you lived in a box.
So a lot of times when we started talking, we were talking about like shit that our mothers told us when we were little. Some more common things, like I think everybody's heard from their mom, like, don't eat the seeds of this certain, of these fruits, or that fruit tree will grow up out of your stomach. So one of the other ones that she told me was, don't go to bed with wet hair.
Yes.
And this is something I looked on the interwebs, and so many people said that they were told not to go to bed with wet hair.
I am one of those people.
Right. I heard there's different reasons. There's always consequences, right? There's different consequences.
Which one did your mom tell you about?
She told me that going to bed with wet hair gives you lice. Which now when I think about it, doesn't make any sense at all.
My mom said I would get sick.
That's very common. I also heard it gives you a headache. It makes you go blind, which I don't know if like getting your head wet is like a euphemism for masturbation, but that's scary anyway. And then this other one I heard was it gives you Alzheimer's, which is like, that's like a modern thing.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get there?
Where'd you get the last two?
I mean, this wherever, where truth, this place that you go for truth, which is basically Reddit. Yeah, so that's where I go for truth. This other one that she told me was just like so crazy. It's like she told me if I didn't poo, and like this woman's like really obsessed with poo.
I think all Asian Chinese people are obsessed with poo.
So true. So true.
Because my dad would always be like, you need to poop every day, and if you don't, eat bananas.
Yeah, bananas. My mom was like, eat one banana equals one poo.
They would ask you all not to be like TMI, but like color, solidness, breakingness, like grossness. I mean, being Chinese is TMI all the time because there's no boundaries.
But anyway, my mom told me when I was little that if you don't poo, your poo goes into your leg because it has nowhere to get out. So it like bores a hole into your leg and then you can see it just like chilling under your skin.
When did she tell you?
Pieces of poo, like, I don't know,
Like how
young, toddler to like 6. And she always described as being like in your thighs. So that's how I pictured it. I talked to her on the phone last night.
Oh, you called your mom, huh?
And he's like, Mom, do you remember when you told me that when you don't poo, it goes underneath your skin and your leg? And she said, yes, that's totally true. She said, and I'm like, oh, holding on to it to this day. Okay, like that's so interesting. So I was like, Mom, that's not true. I'm an adult, and that's like not true. And she's like, no, it happened to my friend's sister. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, my friend's sister couldn't poo. She was very sick. Her legs turned different colors. And I'm like, do you mean like her leg got darker or like there's pieces of poo? She's like, pieces of poo were in her legs and you can see them. And I'm like, I don't know if she like had some keloids or something happening, but I'm like pretty sure she did not have pieces of poo hanging out under her skin. And then she goes, yeah, she was very depressed. And then she killed herself. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? She's like, yeah, she committed suicide. She was very depressed and she had poos in her legs.
After all of that,
It's because it's like this is like your mom's story reaches its natural conclusion.
well, my mom, so when I tried to do some research on this, because I had a few, but not a lot. So I called my mom and I asked her, and I had to explain to her what old wives' sales were.
That's funny by itself.
Tried, yeah, imagine trying to. So she was like, what is this for? I need you to like think of things you thought are really true, but they're probably not. And I would say there was this one guy who grew up with me. He was the only other Chinese kid. Let's call him Randy. Randy is the only other Chinese kid in my class. And I remember he told me his mom specifically told him if he does not eat all his food off his plate, he will have a fat, ugly wife. So poor little Randy ate all his food all the time and he got a little, but he's now like totally fit and normal, but
So if you don't eat the food, you will have a fat, ugly wife.
yeah.
Because then he ate all the food, then he became, but that's actually making it more likely that you'll have a fat, ugly wife. Boom. Boom.
Boom. Tear down these myths. But so I explained that to my mom and she's like, oh yeah, I remember. Randy's so cute. And I was like, yep. So mom, can you do this? Oh, okay. I think about it. If I have something share, I share. Okay. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then she's like, okay, so I think about this. How are you going to use this? And I'm like, mom, just who cares? No, if I have to
You're like, don't worry about it, Mom.
I had to explain what a podcast was to my mother.
I know, I couldn't get into it.
I kind of said it was like a radio talk show we're doing.
That sounds good.
The best way to describe it. She's like, oh, you do this for fun?
Like,
And I'm like, yes, mom.
yeah, because you're not getting paid. That's what she wants to know.
Yeah.
She's like, for fun equals waste of time.
Remember, fun's a new thing.
Fun is a new thing. Thank you, Aziz. I'm sorry.
So my mom told me, she's like, if you put your hands together and you have holes coming through the finger, that means you lose money because it falls out. But if you put your hand together and see no space, that means you hold money in and you are good.
I mean, I think that's true.
So that was my mom's contribution.
It's a good one.
She had some good ones. But here's my thing. I think we ultimately realize this is how they manipulate us.
For sure. Yeah, it was all about getting us to do and not do what they want. For example, this belly button thing. Like, I brought this up to my mom. Everything, by the way, everything that like I brought up to her, she was like, true, 100% true. At first, she would be like, what? I never heard this. What? Like, each thing is like more or less the same amount of whack.
True that.
And like this belly button junk is filed under what she calls not superstition, is Chinese medicine. So there's this whole umbrella of what she thinks of as facts. So I was telling her about like belly buttons. What's the superstition about belly buttons?
I feel like my mom thinks it's still an open orifice.
My mom too.
It was like,
Yes.
like
She thinks open, gaping open sore.
so like whenever we were sleeping, rushed over to make sure my belly button is covered. Like if my blanket wasn't on me, like at least covered the abdominal area where the belly button is.
And my mom's is all about covering from the neck down. Her contention is that there's wind and the wind is trying to get in and attack your organs. And I said, Mom, you know that the belly button is like a closed. I mean, yeah, if you dig into it with like a knife, like you'll get to the organ.
Or you break the surface.
But yeah, overall, it's done job. It's done.
It's done.
But she was like,
close. No, it's close.
It's not superstition.
No.
It's Chinese medicine.
It's true.
I have this uncle, okay, Uncle Donald. When we were little, we were all told that Uncle Donald took his finger and dug into his belly button super hard, like he went after it. He dug into, and then he dug into his stomach and had to have surgery. They fully just made this shit up, which I had no doubt that he went to the hospital and he had like a stomach problem, but like they just were like, guess what, kids?
Yeah,
Uncle Donald
actually scooped it.
He went down, he went in, he scooped. And then we were like, because we're picturing like he scooped in and like his finger comes out and it's all blood. As like intestines hanging off it. We're like, no, oh my God, no.
Was it just like that?
Like everything's horrifying what they tell us.
But my father actually told me my 103-year-old grandmother on FaceTime said something to him and goes, oh, your eyebrows are far apart. That means you are a generous person. And I go, what? And so that's the theory. If your eyebrows naturally have like distance, that means you're generous. But if your eyebrows are very close, like kind of like a unibrow, like closer together, that means you're sick.
I think that's hairist. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What about unibrow people?
And what if you just pluck that shit?
God.
On the topic of hair, this whole like wet, cold hair thing.
Oh.
There's this whole variety of Chinese old wives' tales that have to do with being on your period, being pregnant, and having like cold liquids, cold foods. Basically, like,
because you need everything to be cooked. That's why my mom, she boils water like it's her job all the time. The tea kettle is on.
like because she boiler tea.
She just wants hot water.
No, and yeah, that's one of the things that my mom would definitely say is not superstition. It's Chinese medicine.
It's Chinese medicine.
She's like, okay, do you know about the month of sitting
in the water?
No.
You have your periods?
This is about after you have a child, for a month, you lay in bed, you do nothing. In particular, you do not wash your hair or brush your teeth. That is just file it under everything is bad luck. So
gross. Did people get sick and die?
I don't know. But my mom said that when she was in the hospital with my sister, she had like an American like roommate, and she was telling her about how and not bathing and like not going to bed with your hair wet. And this woman was like, oh, is it because your country is poor and they don't have hair dryers? And my mom was like, she tried to put me down. She put me down, so my country poor. And then she goes, and now Chinese people the richest in the world. Ha ha. She literally said this to me last night. Literally. Oh, I'm sure that like, Fanny and like Queens is like tortured.
That's hilarious.
It's like, now Chinese are richest in the world. Ha ha ha. That's very imperialist for my mom, who, by the way, is in Taiwan. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it depends who you're asking with Taiwan, China. They? No? Question mark? I don't know. Or yeah. Depends who you ask. That's a different episode.
Another thing that we were talking about, if you drink dark liquids when you're pregnant, like soy sauce, chocolate, Coke, coffee, tea, it makes your baby dark.
That's so that's kind of hilarious because I mentioned it to my sister yesterday. She's like, I wonder if mommy had a lot of soy sauce with me because Angela was so dark when she was born. She's not so dark anymore. Chinese medicine.
That's Chinese medicine.
It's Chinese medicine.
I was thinking, because we had talked about this earlier, about how this might be related to my childhood belief that I was dirty down there.
And what's down there? You, for our viewers. The V?
Down in the V, down in the V. So I don't want to scare you because you seemed alarmed when I was talking to you.
I just did.
That I am black as night down there, okay? I'm just saying that when I was a kid, I thought that it seemed like a little bit darker in the Fahine Valley than the rest of the skin around it. And I went so far as to accuse my mother, of not washing me properly
Oh, too much soy sauce.
when I was a baby. She told me right.
Now don't you feel bad? It's the soy sauce.
That's natural. But then I talked to you and you're like, I think maybe when I was a kid, she gave me a little Kiko Man wash, on my skin, my little Kiko Man.
Stained your skin down there.
That's what I'm going to start calling it, my little Kiko Man. My Kiko Man. Yeah, man. Oh, one thing that I learned from my mom yesterday, if your baby doesn't have much hair, go ahead and rub a little ginger paste on it. Rub a little ginger. Oh, it's gonna burn so good. And then your baby's gonna have a full head of hair. Ginger paste. Rockford brought to you by Make This Tiger.
What other kind of crazy things did you hear growing up? Like of crazy old wives' tales that you're just like, really?
Really? You know how Chinese people have lucky and unlucky colors? Color white, I was like really deathly afraid of. And I had this thing about not wearing white on my head. And I don't know if anybody else had it, but I was completely convinced that wearing white on your head makes you die, essentially. And of course, I got this from my mom, She's like, once again, she's like, true, 100% true. She's like, because the Chinese culture, in the funerals, they wear like a white headband. And that's why she didn't let me wear white things on my head.
Yeah.
And I remember like in Pennsylvania, we had like some kind of like Thanksgiving play where it's supposed to be like a pilgrim with like the hat with the black thing and the white band on it. And I was like, no. I'm not doing that. Oh yeah, cultural preferences. And there was this like elder Chinese kid, and I was just like, neither is Tim. Like Tim Wong, you're not doing. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, Tim Wong, I'm not gonna let you die. I'm saving you. Okay, should we talk about ghosts? Well, I had looked online and I was like, there's a bunch of ghost ones. One is no whistling at night because it calls the ghosts. True. I think that's definitely true. Don't hang your clothes at night. It looks like flying ghosts and attracts ghosts. And ghosts will steal your clothes, wear them, and use them to sneak past your doorman and into your house, impersonating you.
Who told you look these up?
Or also read that there's different kinds of ghosts. There are ghosts that disrupt and block a child's learning ability. So it's like ADHD ghosts. You're like, no, there's no. Timmy doesn't have ADHD. It's a ghost. Timmy can't learn because of ghosts.
That's so tragic.
Timmy got a 1500 on the SAT.
He doesn't have,
because there's a ghost.
It's a ghost person.
Stop. I also read don't clip your nails at night.
This is new to me.
And so like basically everything brings the ghosts. So if you clip your nails at night, it brings the ghosts.
You don't want that happening.
I read that if you are going to go pee outdoors, you should say, excuse me.
To who?
To the ghost.
Ghost.
You're out at night, maybe you're camping, what have you. Hotel rooms, you're supposed to knock before you're entering a hotel room, and then you politely step to the side.
But it's my room.
Nope, it's been inhabited by a ghost. Oh. So then you flush the toilet.
Like there's a ghost in the store, Nancy.
And then you flush the toilet so the ghost can leave. So you're giving the ghost like multiple opportunities to get the hell out of Dodge.
So you have to waste all that water?
I don't think it's a waste if it's providing an exit for a ghost.
Well, what about if you pee in it first? At least make it worth it.
I think you still have to say excuse me, because then you're combining those two myths.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Okay, and then it gets weird, in my opinion. I think it's weird. If your baby cries at night, you should place a broom next to your baby's crib so it won't get scared.
That would scare me.
Yeah, that sounds fucking terrifying. If now I know that there is a spirit inside a broom and it's just like watching over me, I'm a baby at night.
My mom instilled in me about noodles. When you think about noodles, what do you think of?
I think about long life noodles, like on Chinese New Year's.
Yes.
They have to be super, super long because that means long life.
Yes, yes. This year, I went to go ski in sun for my sister's birthday because that's what Asians do. They go gamble on their birthday. I used to go for spring break when I was a little girl too.
Early exposure to gambling culture is definitely an Asian milestone.
Every year, I've been a stickler for whenever it's someone's birthday, I text them, I remind them, I'm like, make sure you get noodles, even if it's ramen in your fridge, like you, or like whatever you have.
Wait, like anyone or like white people?
I don't know why. This is like the one thing from my mom that I've like held on to that I'm super superstitious about. I feel like everybody must, no question, must have noodles. Like you don't want to fuck with that
On their birthday?
It's like when on their birthday to have longevity.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Shut up.
Yeah. Let me get this straight. All your friends, white, black, Asian, gluten intolerant, paleo, whoever, you're like, hey, get your noodles before your birthday. Like, you don't just get the noodles for them. You're like, just a reminder, person that maybe we've never talked about noodles before. It's your birthday, get your noodles.
It's not like what I do each day. I know too many people that have birthdays every day, but it's when I'm with the person or I'm talking to them and it's their birthday. My first thing is like, you need noodles.
What's their typical reaction?
Oh, why? And then they think I'm legitimate because I'm Asian, so I must know this stuff.
Is it like when you're little and people ask you if you know Kung Fu and you're like, yeah, and you bust out some moves? You're like, I know, yeah, some karate Japanese. These people that you tell to get noodles, they're like, oh, okay. Did you ever consider whether or not in their head is just kind of like, oh, she's crazy?
Oh, always. But I mean, like, let's be honest.
That's never stopped you. You know, maybe it's like your own latent tiger mom. You don't have kids, so you're like tiger momming everyone. You're like, you're gonna live long. You know, they're gonna run out of noodles. But like, yeah, they know if that's like the only I got like tiger cubs. So you're like, urgency, fake, like, false urgency, tunnel of anxiety. Like, you don't know where to put that energy that you got from your mom.
That's true.
Oh my God. I just like, you breast your slightly wide open.
I know.
So thanks for listening to our very first pilot episode of Two Creations.
Woohoo! I hope everyone enjoyed it. We're still learning through this process.
All the people who listen, like maybe Nancy's mom, Nancy's sister. Yeah, it's probably like those two people. Thanks, Leafy.
Thanks, Lee family, for the support. Maybe my dad will listen. He's got nothing else to do. He's taking care of my 103-year-old grandma.
No. Well, we have tons of great stuff that we want to talk about in upcoming episodes.
I'm so excited. I
need to talk about this stuff.
I mean, there's just so much to share.
It's like we've been waiting our whole lives. Like,
I know. And then here is a platform. Two Creations.
There's like a reason why we were born Chinese.
I know. We're meant to share these. So, you know, we have some good episodes like Joy is for White People.
True. That's true.
Think about that. We'll elaborate more on a next episode.
Asian mom guilt. We'll got a lot on that.
Mm-hmm.
Things you didn't know until you were an adult because you were raised Chinese.
Yeah.
Such as the dishwasher washes dishes and is not a drying rack.
I just actually had dinner with two friends of mine. One is Chinese, one is not, and they both just prefer hand washing. I'm like, the dishwasher, who prefers Hand washing.
Who are these people?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay.
Anywho, your good episode of Asian Celebrities Doppelganger. And yes, it's not just Lucy Liu.
There are 1 to 2 other famous Asians. There are, yeah,
And then that's the whole population.
there are tens of Asians working in Hollywood today.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk about Chinese language and how bad we are at it.
Spoiler alert for that, damn my Chinese stinks. If you guys know me, the apartment nah story will be included. Just little spoiler alert.
Is that supposed to be a teaser for people who like actually just know you?
Know me. Yes.
Literally like the 3 people to get them excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
That's a niche audience.
Well, we got to start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Hey, mom, you know, there's a lot of Chinese language we don't know.
For sure.
For sure. That's not a spoiler. But there are like a bunch of my favorite phrases and things that I think are pretty important to know. That are just like fun things to know and or will get you murdered by accident.